All right. Hey, Kenny, thanks for joining me here. This is, for those of you watching this, I just want to introduce you to Kenny Ramsey. He's the founder of 22Below, which is an awesome company that we helped just recently. And, he's also just an entrepreneur in the purest sense and has his hands in a lot of things. He's just an awesome guy. Just wanted to interview him. So Kenny, tell us a little bit about you, about 22Below, and like how that idea came and, how you ended up launching it.
Yeah, so 22 Below was something that it was a little bit of a passion project that I started and I'd work on, on the weekends. And at the time, I just wasn't happy with the current koozie options that were out there. That you had two ends of the spectrum. You had a really high end, super performance, expensive one that just recently came out, which created a huge gap from that to the cheap foamy kind. And I enjoy aspects of both of them, but I was like, I'd like to be able to create the best of both worlds here. How can I like take this one and make them have a baby and have one? That's what I need to do. And so I went to work on it. And I don't know, I probably worked on it for a year and a half, just here and there. And then just had a couple little breakthroughs. And I was like, ooh, all right, I think we hit it. So just refined it until we got to the point where it was something we could take to market. So I had some 3D prints made and tested them. They worked. So then it was just a matter of, finding a manufacturer and getting it made. And we launched a Kickstarter, and it went well. It funded, and then off into the big world of trying to sell it to the public.
Yeah, absolutely. So prior to us working together, with Coke Media and me, you were doing a little bit on your own. You had, you kind of run a little bit of ads, and you had a little bit of traction through your store. Talk to me about that. What did that look like, and what were your challenges?
So prior to meeting with you guys, I didn't know of the possibility that I didn't even know that business.facebook even existed and its entire platform of advertising. The only thing I was used to was the little boost tab that you see at the bottom. And while, sometimes it would hit, most of the times it wouldn't, I was beginning to wonder how a lot of people were becoming real successful at this stuff, and I wasn't having a ton of traction. There was a lot of just break evens and stuff like that. So I ran into you guys, and you were like, oh, no, that's not how it's done. There's a whole nother ball game that's played behind the scenes, so to speak. And I was like, all right, well, show me. So then we met up with you guys, and we immediately started seeing our advertising work much better.
So one of the things that I remember talking to you about is like the price point was, it's a relatively inexpensive product. So one of the challenges was like, well, how are we going to get this average order value to the point where we can actually make the advertising work? And that's kind of when we put together that pricing matrix, and we did the bundles, and that really helped kind of boost your overall average cart value up. Before, if I recall this correctly, we were doing about maybe 50 on a good day, $100 in revenue a day prior to us working together, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely.
So you want to talk about kind of that first initial week of testing and getting things going after we created the new landing page, and and then we'll get into the first full month and what the results were from running the campaigns from you.
So what was interesting was there is no magic solution. There is no one magic answer. And, just watching you guys, pull this off, it's a combination of a lot of things. It's like cooking, a world famous soup. It's a whole lot that goes into it. It has to be done all correctly at a specific time. So, between the pricing matrix, the bundle, the landers, how everything, all the ad copy, how the videos was cut up, just everything that went into it was a lot of work, but everything had its reasoning. And then, just to see all that come together was pretty impressive. And then when you sent it out there and it started hitting immediately, and it was like, okay, what we were doing prior to that was archaic to an extent. It's just ridiculous. The stuff, I like to say, you don't know what you don't know until you meet somebody who does know.
Absolutely.
And they open you up to an entire new world of possibilities, success.
And I like what you said there. So you realize to do this right, there is a lot of work. There is a lot of upfront work, a lot of setting things up, testing, and there's a lot of work that goes into it. So
Mhm.
without knowing what you're doing, like you hit the nail on the head there. You don't know what you don't know. So it's better to kind of, especially if you have a product like yours that's, you're ready to take it to market and you know that people are going to respond well to it. You know that you genuinely know that people are going to enjoy this and it's going to better their lives. You want to kind of tap into somebody that knows what they're doing, right? So now kind of go over like what you were feeling, like the emotions you had and everything, like after your first full month with us. I'll let you share kind of like the revenue kind of milestone that we crossed and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so before even the first full month, we ran like a week and a half's worth of testing to see how it was going to do. And, you start hearing your phone cha-ching a lot. It has that little sound every time you get an order, and that's a great feeling. And it started happening a lot. And it started happening on the weekends when I was doing other things other than working. And I do work, but, about 12, 1 o'clock, I'd knock off and go by the pool, go hang out by the pool, and my phone's cha-chinging, and I'm like, wow, I could get used to this. I'm not working, and my phone is making money right now. Like, it's hard to comprehend. And then, we ran that initial week or two, and to get the data we needed to see what kind of moves we need to make after that. And I was like, and I got real scared because you guys started talking about scale. I'm like, what do you mean? This is amazing already. Like, we could just keep going like this. And I was a little scared in the beginning because you're talking about like, all right, well, we're spending $75 a day on ads. We're going to go to $500. And I'm like, oh, whoa, oh my gosh, and it's just like, geez, I don't know if I can do that, take that risk. But, the data that you guys had collected, it allowed you to say, if you do $500 in ads, it's going to pay off. Like, you're going to sell way more than that. And then y'all proved it to me in like the first 2 or 3 days. And then it's like, all right, well, let's scale again. And I'm like, you mean $1,000 a day? And I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do it, but we're having success. So let's keep going. So we went to 1,000, and then it just kept we'd spend 1,000 and we'd make way more than that. And then you're like, let's go to 1,500. So we would try 1,500, and it just kept increasing. It was just absolutely ridiculous. I remember I was at the beach for July 4th, and I think it was July 5th was, I think, the biggest day we ever had. Can we say numbers on here?
Yeah, you can say numbers, man. You say numbers.
I remember like July 5th was the biggest day we had. It was over 5,000. It was almost $6,000 in one single day of $1,500 in ad spend. And it was just absolutely ridiculous. And I'm standing on the end of a pier in Garden City, South Carolina with my friend. And I'm just looking at him like, this is just life-changing. This is incredible. We're sitting here drinking, watching people pop fireworks, and I'm making $6,000 on my telephone. And so anyway, we had a good night. But I mean, it was just multiple days. I mean, just multiple days like that. You wake up in the morning, you go to bed at night and wake up in the morning, and you're already at $1,000 in sales or $700 in sales, and it was just absolutely ridiculous. And I know sustaining that takes a lot of work, and you have to do a lot of work to sustain that. And it's not always sustainable. A lot of things have its ups and downs and seasons, but I mean, it's truly amazing what can happen when your Facebook ads start hitting and they're being ran correctly. And if you get to the point where you can scale, it's just life changing.
Yeah. With the scaling part, it's a very fragile process, and it's something that we specialize in, and we know how to do well. Once when certain check boxes are checked and we're looking at specific criteria, and you just we had the perfect storm with you, and we were able to do it, and we're excited to do it for you. So like, you want to tell people what you ended up with, like after like that full first 4 or 5 weeks?
So yeah, what we ended up with in the first 4 or 5 weeks, I know this is including my Amazon sales, which don't show on Shopify. This is also including like retail sales, also includes print sales. So on top of this, one of the biggest things that was happening was I was having people hit me in my email, want custom printed 22Below stuff. And they wanted their company on it.
That's usually what happens once you start really scaling your advertising. You get what we call as halo effect, right? So you start building a massive presence. So people are going to see your, the branding aspect of it too, because you're spending so much money, and people are going to go out there and search Google. They're going to search for what you have. They're going to hit you up. So just the stuff that we didn't even measure from ads, like that's just pouring in.
Yeah. Yeah. So when it was all said and done, I think at the end of the month of July, I think we were at $125,000. So that was a crazy month, a really crazy month, and it opened a lot of options up to me as far as the business and the potential, which is what I always thought it had to begin with. But I know for a fact that none of that was possible without Facebook ads and taking it to a place where people like yourself who've been there and done that multiple times have done. There's no book out there that can teach you. There's no YouTube video that can teach you because things change so fast. Today's age is the way to go is finding people who are on the cutting edge. They're ahead of things and they're having success with their customers. And there's nothing you can do to teach yourself that fast enough. It's just the opportunity cost for you to try to do that yourself is not there. It's just so much easier and so much better to let somebody who's expert at this handle it, because there's so much that goes into it that you need to be worried about your business and not Facebook ads. And because if you're having real success on Facebook, you're going to be pulling your hair out just trying to fulfill the orders, much less continue running your ads,
right.
Which is a whole nother animal.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, man. Well, we appreciate you. So obviously you have a bright future ahead of you and us working together and everything else. Like, what would you tell somebody that's watching this video right now that's maybe looking at us for help, for maybe they see themselves in your situation where you were, when we got started and they're kind of on the fence? Like, what would you, tell that person?
The first thing would be, one, make sure you have your manufacturing figured out, because there's nothing that's going to break your heart more than if you hit on Facebook ads and you cannot fulfill these orders and you have to refund people their money. That would be heartbreaking. We didn't have that problem, but we almost did. And I never thought we would have had a manufacturing problem, because the amount we were able to make was really fast. But I know a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't have the abilities that we had to be able to make stuff really fast. So make sure you have your supply chain figured out. And if you get to that point, you need to be able to, tell people up front that, hey, look, we're completely out. We got them on back order. Stay with us. Just don't leave them hanging. So that's one thing. It's trust people, trust them, but also reach out to the customers that they already have to make you feel better. So before you decide to go with someone, reach out to some of the customers and be like, hey, do you recommend such and such? And this is with anything you do, not just this. And see what their other customers think about them. And that'll help you in making your decision on spending your money. It takes a lot of the fear out of it. Man, it's a good question. The other thing is also, in order to sustain successful Facebook ads and things of that such, is understand that you're going to have to bring more content and more material, because people are going to get tired of seeing the same thing after a while. Mm-hmm. Other thing would be if you need to start planning new products. You need to start getting new products in the pipeline, because if people like your product, they're going to want to buy more stuff from you, not just the same thing. So you want to expand into other things and be able to add more SKUs, because ultimately that's going to increase your cart, your what people check out as. And that's just, if you can do those things and maintain those things, you should always be able to have successful Facebook ads and make a living at this.
Awesome. So if another business owner, e-com business owner, came to you and be like, hey, should I go with Michael and Coke and Media? What would you tell them?
Absolutely. I can't really think about, I can't think about, well, I'll take this back. I think about whenever I ran my Facebook ads before and when I ran my Facebook ads after. And it is just two ends of the spectrum. And you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know the possibilities of Facebook ads, Facebook, Instagram ads, until you have somebody who's an expert run them. What you're doing is nowhere near what can be done, and ultimately you're going to hold your company back. You're going to hold yourself back by trying to figure it out all on your own.
Awesome. Well, that was great. Appreciate you. And I know you're a busy guy. Thanks for coming on and just having this chat with me. For all you guys watching this, if you're on the fence and but you're ready to kind of, scale really and grow your business, fill out the, wherever you're seeing this, fill out our form, get on a free strategy call with us. I'll be happy to help out and see what we can do for you. So, all right, we'll see you later. Bye.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. See you.